Hi everyone, and welcome to BeBrave.bu. Here with me is our fabulous Jennifer from Wise Institute. She's one of our brave sheroes, and I'm so honored to be here with you talking today. And thank you for your time. She's already 8 months pregnant, guys, so so I do really appreciate you taking the time to see us. No So Jennifer, I know you came from non-profit background, and something happened at that point, right? You got laid off, right?
Yes.
And sometimes when we have certain failures, sometimes that leads to something better, right? So what led that after you got laid off? What happened after that? What happened to Jennifer at that point?
Well, thank you for having me, Lisba, and your team. I appreciate you guys having me on your show. You know, when I got laid off, it was just an opportunity to spread my wings, I saw it as. I was excited. You know, you're a little bit mad. You know, just when you get laid off, you get a little bit upset at your employer, but that went away really quick. You know, it was just like, okay, now it's like I can do what I want to do. Like no one can tell me. Like the moment that I realized and discovered how to make money on my own without an employer.
Yes.
That was like the best thing ever, right? Like yes, now I know how to make money. I don't need to depend on anyone. And from there, I just kept growing all the ventures that I was doing. I went immediately into social media management.
Okay.
Because that's what I was doing prior to getting laid off. I handled a lot of their marketing for the nonprofit world. So I said, if I could do this for them, I could do this for other companies. And I did that. But quickly I realized where my heart really was calling me to, which was my women's organization.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about how that grew in you. You know, what led you to have a passion for women empowerment? And you know, what were some of those moments where you felt, you know, I need to get uncomfortable, I need to do certain things in my life? Where was that shift happening for you? Like what happened to Jennifer during that time?
Yeah, so there's an actual testimony behind why. So I'm very faith-based, and I tell this, and I'm always very upfront with women. My organization, not all the topics might be faith-based, but you'll know I'm faith-based, right? Okay. So you know, wise is the diamond is biblical. It's from Proverbs 31, right? If you're familiar with Proverbs 31, it talks about she is more precious than rubies, right?
Yes.
So all of this actually stemmed from my testimony of how when I was younger, me and my husband we were just very codependent, very unhealthy. I was very unhealthy. Overall, the environment we grew up in was very hostile and violent. Actually on both ends, right? We both came from broken homes. We came from broken neighborhoods, right? Okay. So there was just a lot of negative influences in our life. But once you know, there was a whole discovery of who I am and a spiritual enlightenment.
When did that happen?
Oh, years ago. Years before I even did this. Were you younger?
Like very young?
Yeah, I was.
Like around what age would you say?
My enlightenment happened, I want to say I was about 21 years old.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so it was definitely more than 10 years ago. And when I had that, I, you know, for the last 5 to 7 years, I was going through this cleansing, right? Mentoring, and women all of a sudden started pouring into me. I started getting around coaches and business women, and all these things are happening. So I started changing. I was changing, right? And I was evolving, and as a result, from my evolution, my husband also was evolving with me, you know? Good. He could have stayed stagnant and stayed in the environment we were in, the comfort zone. But a lot of times I was a catalyst, and it was kind of like, okay, we're evolving together. We were both, you know, young, right? So of course you're gonna change, right? So then that's where all of this got inspired. A lot of the things that I learned to implement in my own life, the curriculum that I have designed now is based off of coaches and mentoring and things that I learned to kind of clean all this out, clean all that gunk out that was inside of me.
Okay.
And as a result, the lifestyle has changed, my life has changed, my family has changed, generations after me will be different, right? No longer the different generational curses or, you know, whatever, you know, for those that are faith-based, you will know what I'm talking about, but, you know, sometimes the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, right?
Yeah.
So we stop that, you know,
Yeah.
we're not going to continue that with our children. So yeah, so that's where all of whys really stems from, was a change that happened in me, and I'm just teaching that and giving that back to other women.
So I'm gonna get you uncomfortable, because that's one of my things here.
I'm ready. I like that.
So okay, so tell me some of those uncomfortable things that you went through. When you say broken home, what does that mean? When you say you were down, what does that mean?
So when I came from divorce, right, parents fighting, you know, there was a form of domestic violence in the household with my parents. So I saw unhealthy habits, unhealthy fighting, right? And that's how I picked up. Like, I learned unhealthy habits by watching my parents.
Yes.
Right? And a lot of us can relate to that. You kind of learn how to argue based off what you've seen.
Yes, yes.
So that's
because your background is your filter.
Yes. Yeah, so that's what I mean by like broken background. And then as well as the neighborhood I grew up in, gang violence. You know, I went to one of the poor schools on the north side of the Chicago area. So it was just a lot, you know, I just remember like I went to a school where maybe there was 1,000 students, and then by the time I graduated it was 200. You know, that's just how many dropouts and things were happening through those 4 years. But I was smart. I went to college. You know, I still was. I had good work ethic, right? I had a good, you know, that was instilled in me from my parents. I got great things still from my parents, right? The whole work ethic, and you know, still love them. We still, you know, and they're in a much better place as well. My parents, which is really good.
Good, good. So I'm gonna bring you back to Jennifer, back in your 20s when you were still kind of figuring things out.
Sure.
What did you do, like for some of our young, because we have some young audiences in our channel. What would you say to them, to these young girls that are, you know, in this negative environment, that are, you know, maybe not seeing any hope for their future, just don't have any mentors, any coaching, anything, you know, that could inspire them? What did you do, and what would you recommend for them to start doing at a young age?
They need one, you have to have a hunger for change. Bottom line. If you don't desire change, change will not come. You can take a horse to water, but that doesn't mean the horse is going to drink it, right? Yeah. So you first have to desire the want to change. Second, you have to reach out for help. It's no ifs, ands, or buts. Chicagoland area has an abundance of services, free services. The suburbs, a little trickier, but because I came from a nonprofit world, I see and know how much is out there. So there is help, free help, right? So whether there's resources, education, mentors, sponsors, it's just a matter of reaching out and saying, hey, I want to be surrounded around a positive influence of people. And churches can help, right? It's just a matter of speaking and looking for that knowledge.
Okay. So you would say if you had not been exposed and wanted to change at that time, you wouldn't be at the place that you're at now?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I had to put my foot forward and just say, you know, this is not right. You know, I deserve better, right? And I was just like, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to see what I can get to better myself. So on top of, you know, while I was going to UIC, I graduated from UIC, I was, you know, I found mentors, and then I started, you know, I just started going around and asking, like, okay, like, what is there out there? And it's your responsibility, really, to find the help that you need.
That's true. That's true. So tell me a little bit about WISE, and what does that stand for? How are you helping these ladies? Are they from all different age groups?
Yes.
What curriculum do you put together? You know, what has been kind of like the success behind it? Because I know it's fairly a recent organization, correct? It's like about 2 years.
It's gonna be 2 years in January.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about your institute.
Yeah. So WISE is short for the Women's Institute of Self-Development and Efficacy. I know they know it's long, so sometimes like WISE, just say WISE, right? But really, it's all about personal development, self-development, which I'm a big believer in that. And then efficacy really is about the change, right? Efficacy means to change.
Okay.
So, you know, when I was creating, you know, and of course, biblically, a lot of it foundational is biblical, right? A lot of principles we learn out there in the world is biblical, but no one says it, you know? But foundationally, a lot of it's biblical. And my goal was, okay, I'm going to create this. I want women to understand when they see this logo, they see that they have value, that they can provide something, right?
That they're a diamond.
That
they just have to be, I think there's a saying, and I don't know if it's a biblical thing, but you know, you just have to be, you're a diamond before it's a diamond. It has to get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's a rock. It has to be carved out. It has to be molded.
Yes.
It has to, you know, get to a point where you're shine and buffed and you become that diamond that you truly already are.
Absolutely. And more than a diamond, rubies are far more valuable than a diamond. You know, so even that, it's like, wow, a ruby is more valuable than a diamond, and that's what we're far above that value, right? So that's where all of that came from, you know, the whole idea of being that wise woman, seeking advice, you know, speaking with wisdom. Our curriculum really has been designed to specifically target areas of like time management, conflict resolution. It's been designed to visualization and goals, and you know, being able to set boundaries. You know,
that's a big one, especially for Latina and women.
Yes, a lot of women
boundaries
don't.
Is a big thing. I know that.
Yeah, because all your life you've been told what to do.
Yes.
You're a woman, you know, just do as I say, you know, that type of upbringing, especially if you're a Latina background like us, right? You're like just being told, do this, right?
Do that. No
questions asked.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yes.
Instead of saying, yes, you could do that. Yes, you could go this way, that way. You can become what you want to become. You don't hear that all the time. Yes.
So a lot of women don't know how to express themselves, be independent, be an individual in a relationship, right? Versus losing your identity.
Yes.
So there's a lot of different components that we go in the program, which is what I really love. Breaking negative beliefs, right? Those belief systems that are hindering us, right? That hinder you from getting to that next level, you know, hindering you. So like, that's really all that I focus on. And the women that come to me, all races, we don't have a specific race as well as age. I'm surprised. I'm so surprised. Yeah.
So tell me about the age range that you have in your group.
On average, the youngest is 25, the oldest is 65.
Oh, wow. And how many members do you have currently?
On our social media platform, we have over close to 1,000 women there that are in that group. As far as regular meetings, we have about 30 to 35 women that come out regularly. Maybe not all the time, but you know, they're here and there at certain meetings. So it's just, you know, it's an array of women that I work with. In my coaching program, we have everything from divorced women, single women, married women, women with kids, women no kids. So, you know, there is really, this curriculum is so foundational, and anyone can apply it. You know, boundaries can be used at work and at home.
Yes.
You know, conflict resolution can be used at work and at home, right? Time management can be applicable in all areas of our lives, right? And that's why I think so many women gravitate towards it, because they're like, oh my God, we need this type of teaching. We need to know this type of stuff, right? So there's really no limit of who we're serving. As long as you're a woman in need, I could say average majority are like 30 to 40s, you know. But like I said, it's a vast, there's a big gap of differences there.
So tell me a little bit, you just had last weekend, right? You had your retreat, which is your second annual retreat with a whole group of women.
Yes.
Tell us about that retreat and how it inspired them.
Yeah, so that retreat was amazing. It really was.
And I know you had the great Erica Gilchrist.
Yes, she was phenomenal. I loved her. All the women, so this retreat, I'm a big entrepreneur. I love entrepreneurship. So we started adding business networking events to our stuff, right?
Okay.
So I said, well, this retreat really needs to have all those components of it, because I'm such a believer of holistically helping a woman. I'm such a believer in women can have it all. I'm a big believer in, if you're happy internally, you'll be happy, at home, at work, right? You'll be more successful in life in general.
Yes.
So in the retreat, I had business topics, life topics, I had spiritual topics.
Okay.
So it was just health. We had to work out and we had to get our health on, right? So I had all those components in the retreat. So a woman that even if she wasn't an entrepreneur, but the idea is there, like down the road, I want to do this.
Yes.
That event definitely provoked something inside of them to get into action.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. The biggest thing about the retreat that I hear is that people had awareness, revelations. They realized what they wanted to work on. They might have let go of some stuff that they were holding on to, some grief,
Yes.
So there was a lot going on, but it was good because I was able to see a woman come in and transform from Friday to Sunday.
Oh,
that's a miracle.
Yeah.
To have a retreat and be able to watch the transformation is worth more than whatever profit I would have gotten from that event,
Yes.
because this is really mission driven. It's a calling that I know that's part of, WISE has a big calling. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. So I know that you were featured, right, in this book right here.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys could see that, but in today's Inspired Latina,
yes,
she was featured in the back. She's somewhere around here.
I'm the blonde. I'm not blonde right now.
She used to be blonde here, but she was featured in today's Inspired Latina. I think this was volume 4.
Yes.
Okay, volume 4. So she was highlighted there. How did that come about?
Actuality, when this started, because now it's like an international movement, right? They're like on 6 volumes.
Oh, wow.
They're going to like Jalisco, and they're out in Europe and doing all these book launches everywhere.
Oh, okay.
So it's a big movement. When they started with the first one, I was like, that's cool. That's cute. Yeah, keep an eye on it. Then the second one, I was like, okay, I kind of want to get in this book now. But I wasn't telling anybody, but deep down in my heart, I was like, I want to be in that book.
Yes.
By the third one, somehow I met with the project manager through networking events. I just told her, I was transparent. Anyone that knows me, I'm transparent. I'm truthful. I just tell you what it is, and this is how it went. And I told her my story, and she's like, you should be in the book. I was like, what book? She was like, today's Inspired Latina. I was like, oh, you have the book. You're part of the book. She's like, yeah, I'm the project manager. I'm like, oh, I do want to be in the book. Secretly, I've always wanted to be in the book, but I wasn't telling anyone. And the opportunity came about, and I took advantage of it, and then I was put in 4.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, good.
Yeah.
So I heard a little bit about the whole movement, which is awesome. I like it personally.
Yeah.
And I love anything that has woman empowerment tied to it.
I think what's really great about these is there's no one ever hears the Latina story.
Yeah.
No one knows a lot. We focus young women, young Latinas. We don't have that many mentors that are Latinas. We don't know what's out there. So the founder, Jackie Camacho Ruiz, who was also speaker at my retreat, she said, you know what, we need to put stories out there so that people know how they conquered their trials and tribulations and how they became successful, so that younger Latinas or any Latina really can say, wow, if she can do it, I can do it too.
Yes.
So that's why it became such a fast-paced movement, because so many women wanted to put their stories out there. Stories of, it's like domestic violence, or stories of how they came from other countries and became successful here, how they started their businesses,
and from a Latina perspective,
from
which
a
is
Latina perspective.
what we're missing.
Absolutely.
Well, that's awesome.
Yes.
Good. So what are some of the big plans for WISE? What would you say are your big plans for the group?
Yeah, so this is really going to be global. WISE is going to go global. I already know it. It's just a matter of time of how we're going to go there. The 12-week virtual program is one of the ways of how it's going to go global, because it's all virtual coaching.
Okay.
It's just a matter of putting it out there, creating more. I'm working towards a membership program, more of bonuses, like programs you can buy online, virtual programs, different ones, smaller. So it's just going to be more being offered virtually to get it globally. And then from there we'll take the talks and the presentations, and we'll just travel with it. I'm looking to open up chapters. We have our main chapter in the city of Chicago where we meet monthly. But we're going to have a new chapter in January out in the west suburbs. Okay. And the goal is to have chapters like that also throughout the United States, where more women will open up their chapters and teach the content to women. And then from there, that's where the whole, the snowball effect will take place.
Okay, awesome. So how can we reach WISE?
Yeah. So for sure, I love Facebook. Facebook is where, if you know social media, that's where I get mainly a lot of my following. It's women's self-development. Just you can find that there. We also have the support group, which is WISE Women Support Group. Okay. We also have a website, womenselfdevelopment.org. It's still in the process of being edited. So, but my contact information is there if someone wants to reach out to me. Okay. And then my phone number. Anyone can call me. I don't mind sharing my phone number for people to reach out to me.
Yes. Please do if you want to.
Yeah, no. Anyone want to reach me? It's 773-349-5174, or you can email me at womenselfdevelopment@gmail.com.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Oh no, thank you. This was my pleasure. And one thing I just wanted to share was, you asked me a question about what was the hardest thing, right?
Yes.
Was the most uncomfortable?
Most uncomfortable.
Really?
Well, you had to be brave.
You had to be brave. Sharing your story.
Okay.
Your story is worth gold. It's gold, right? When you can share, it's scary. Will someone accept my message? Will my message be accepted?
You're becoming vulnerable.
You're putting yourself out there. Will I be rejected? That was my biggest fear. That was my biggest fear, judge and rejectment. I always thought, I'm too young. Why would they listen to me? Why would 60-year-old women listen to a 30-year-old woman, right? Like that almost ageism, what they call it, where like, it's not racism, but it's ageism because you're young. What is it why would someone older listen to me, or someone younger listen to me, or someone of a different race, right? So I was scared. And that was one of the reasons why it took so long to launch WISE. I had the logo 5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
I had it a while ago.
So you had to get uncomfortable to where you're at today.
And as I started sharing my story, and the more I shared it, the more comfortable I got, more I realized this story needs to be put out there. And that's how women realize, oh my God, she's transparent, she's so real. This is real life. I'm gonna follow her because she's for real. And I there's plenty of proof in the pudding. I say my life is a transformation. I changed. Women are changing. So something's up, so we're the real deal,
Yes.
So getting uncomfortable, sharing your story, that's where the key is.
And becoming an inspiration for others to come. I think is also key. So first you have to accept that you want to change.
Yes.
And then making the change, getting
Yes.
uncomfortable enough to make the change and be brave enough to achieve what it is that you want to achieve in your life and becoming the best version of yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Jennifer. It was a
Thank
pleasure,
you.
Interviewing you and just knowing a
thank
little
you
bit
for
about your
coming
story.
out.
And
Yes.
I'm excited for you.
Thank
Best of
you.
luck to you.
Thank you. Same to you.
All good vibes.
Yeah, same to you and this show on YouTube. 100 subscribers.
So if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And you know where to find us, bebrave.bu. And I look forward to interviewing the next brave SHERO. Thank you so much and have a great day. Okay, guys? Take
like
care.
and subscribe.
Bye-bye.